I never. Henry! Hey!
Don't move a finger.
Surrender! You there! Stop! You, stop right where you are.
What was that noise? Hey! Is someone there?
Here you are. Good health.
A meal to go with the ale, please.
You with that weapon. That's forbidden here. Put it away immediately.
Murderer!
Hey! Like that, guard, quick! There's a corpse there! Over there! My God, there's a corpse!
I can't go any further. The current could sweep me to my death.
dead.
Help! Over there, I saw them!
Over there.
I'm Carl. I'm supposed to enter as a novice.
We expected you sooner. Weren't you supposed to come here with your guardian? It's been so hectic lately, people will keep turning up out of the blue.
He got drunk last night and wasn't able to come with me today.
Such irresponsibility. And you share his guilt for abandoning him. Although, of course, inebriation is a sin. Well, we'll see. Can you read and write?
Naturally. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
So then, are you ready to enter the Order of Saint Benedict and renounce forever the temptations of this world?
I am.
Then you must rid yourself of all your worldly possessions. Sell them or give them to the poor and needy or donate them to the monastery. You may not enter this place burdened by worldly goods. Inside the gatehouse is a trunk in which you will find monk's robes. Put away all your possessions and dress yourself in the habit. Then you may rest a while I go and see the prior to arrange matters for your acceptance.
Strange feeling being without all of that. I didn't realise how much I'd grown used to it.
Everything's prepared. It's time for you to take your vows.
Do I really have to wear this?
You'd better get used to it. You'll be wearing it for the rest of your life.
brothers in Christ, we have gathered here today to welcome a new novice into our midst. Dear brother, forget your former life and embrace your new vocation in the community of the monks of St. Benedict. Opus Dei, obedientia, obprobria, the service of God, obedience, and endurance of all discomfort. These are the cornerstones and succor of our order, which on this day shall become your own. Suscipe me, Domine, secundum eloquium tuum et vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Suscipe me, Domine, secundum in loquium tuum vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Accept your new name, Brother Gregor, and wear it with honor. Welcome, brother.
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
I'm being punished. If it were up to me, I'd still be spending my days in taverns and my nights with whores.
I don't envy you. Unfortunately, you're here for the rest of your life.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening so you know how things work. Right, we can go now. Follow me closely. I'll explain everything as we go. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs.
Salve Domini. In a rush to pray?
This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? to appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to. This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation. Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren. And above us monks are the prior and the circators, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict.
The rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitous. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too will learn how. And that's all. Today you are still free from duty, but tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We will be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lucas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn here. I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter. And soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. It occurred to me you might be the man to ask. I'm looking for some lockpicks. Do you know anyone in the monastery who could help me?
Lockpicks? You surprise me, brother. And you, a nobleman's son. But you could ask Brother Celerius. They say he used to be a thief.
I need to make a confession.
I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done. It's probably nothing to worry about.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief. He had a hand in burning down the Neuhof stud.
You don't say. And who are you to take such an interest?
That's not important.
Why are you telling me this anyway? What do you want from me?
Perhaps you could help me find him?
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about the Neuhof incident, and all the other brethren have been here much longer than that.
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still I don't know which one he could be.
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be any one of them. No one knows anything about Lucas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. It wouldn't surprise me if he was behind that massacre. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get in someone's good books. The thought of Yodok at Neuhof sends chills up my spine.
Maybe you're right. It's not a pretty thought. Thanks for your help, and please don't say a word to anyone.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are locked inside my lips.
The forbidden books must be in
You're
that
interested
cabinet.
in what's inside? Forbidden books, written by the devil himself. Forget it. You're interested in what's inside?
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
Slow down, brother.
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
I'm interested in the other novices. Do you know anything about Antonius?
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily,
because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
Who'd tear up a book like that? Brother Librarian might know.
What troubles you?
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. What can you tell me about the novices here?
And what can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic life. After a year, you can make your vows and become a fully fledged brother.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yorick is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager, perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
I'm telling you, someone's been creeping around in the corridor at night.
What's
What am
your
I
step,
saying,
brother?
creeping?
Slow down, brother.
Like a bear. That must have been Brother Cicada. He can't sleep and prays long into the night.
Don't. Brother. Is this a tavern? Are we at a dogfight? Violence doesn't belong here. As you well know, this is unforgivable.
Very well, brother. I accept my punishment.
Now, show me what you have on you. I must confiscate anything that's not allowed in the monastery.
While I was locked up, someone was making quite a racket in the cellar. Blind drunk, I'm sure of it. I wonder what's been going on.
What would you like?
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book. Do you know what it is?
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who? Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely! Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
In a rush to pray?
Can't you see we're at Mass?
Peace be with you, brother.
This is not a good time for questions, brother.
I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
Do you know anything about Yodok?
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the Circators. That's about it.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. What are the roles of the various monks here?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the Circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly.
Well, that's all.
Why such haste?
What do you desire?
Why such haste?
Slow down, brother.
Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says.
My name's Gregor,
I said,
a novice.
I will guard my ways.
You
that
can
I
call
may
me
not sin with
Siskin.
my tongue. I have
Now,
set
are
a
you
guard
here of your
to
own
my
free
mouth.
will, or is this a
I was
punishment?
mute and was humble
Although
and
it's
kept
not important.
silence even from good
Welcome to
things.
purgatory.
Here the prophet
Did you say
showed that the
purgatory?
spirit of silence ought to
You'll
lead
see
us
soon
at
enough.
times to refrain even from
Soon
good
enough.
speech. So much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil.
Will you tell me
works.
something about yourself?
Therefore, since the
Look,
spirit
nothing
of
against you,
silence
but
so
I prefer
important,
not to talk about my
permission to
past.
speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for
Are
good,
you hiding something?
holy, edifying.
Why are you so reluctant to tell
For
me
it is
anything about
written,
yourself?
In much speaking,
I'm hiding a
you will not
lousy
escape
past that I'd
sin.
rather forget.
And in another
I
place,
hate to think of all I
death
lost when they
and
stuck me in
life
here.
are in the power of the tongue.
And also
For
because I
speaking
really
and
hate the
teaching
question,
belong to the
aren't you the
master,
son of the famed
disciples'
Sir
part is to be
Smil
silent
Flashka
and listen.
Pardubitz?
And for that reason,
I
if
was
anything
rich
has to
and
be
I had
asked of the
everything.
superior, it should be
But
asked
then
with
my
all
father
the
began to feel his
humility
time
and submission,
approaching, so
inspired
he
by
decided to
heaven.
send a son to the
But as for
monastery.
coarse jests
And,
idle
being the
words
youngest,
or words that
the
move
lot
to
fell on
laughter,
me.
these we condemn
I've no head
everywhere
for
with a
managing the
perpetual
estate, and
ban.
they said I'd squander
And for
it.
such conversation,
Can you
we do
imagine?
not permit a
Me,
disciple
in a monastery.
to open his mouth.
So I took what coin I could from home
The
with me,
rule of
so I
Saint
didn't lose out
Benedict.
completely.
Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning,
must have
let them
realised you
labor
robbed
at
them.
whatever is necessary until about the
I
fourth
donated
hour.
some of the silver
And
to
from
the
fourth
monastery when
hour
I came
until
in,
about
just to
the
piss
sixth,
them off.
let them apply
I can
themselves
just
to
see
read.
my siblings,
After the sixth
arguing
hour,
with the
having
abbot
left
to
the
give
table,
it back.
let them rest on
And you
their
stashed
beds
away the
in
remainder?
perfect silence.
Indeed
or if
so.
anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else.
What's your
Let
plan with
none
this
be
treasure?
said rather
To get
early
out of here
at
as
the
soon
middle
as
of the
I
eighth
can.
hour, and
I'll
let
wait
them
another
again
year
do
or
what
two
work
until
has
my
to be
hot-headed
done
brothers
until
cool off a
vespers.
bit,
Weak
then I'll
or
take the
sickly
silver
brethren should
and
be
run off
assigned a
somewhere,
task
far,
or
far
craft
away
of
from
such
here.
a nature as to keep them from idleness and at the same time
That's
not
all I wanted to know.
overburden them or drive them away with
Please
excessive
keep it to
toil.
yourself,
Their weakness
especially
must be
the part
taken
about
into
the coin.
consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will
I'm
guard
still
my
curious
ways,
about this
that I may
treasure
not
trove
sin
of
with my
yours.
tongue. I have set a guard to
It's
my
no
mouth.
big terrible
I
secret.
was mute,
Really, it
was
isn't.
humbled, and kept
I just
silence
go
even
and
from
read
good
during
things.
services.
Here the
There's no
prophet
time
shows that if
otherwise.
the spirit of
I mean,
silence ought
at
to
other
lead us
times
at
I don't
times
get to read what I
refrain from
like.
good speech.
And I keep it under the
So
slab
much
so
the
that others
more
don't
ought the
find it.
punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since this spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples.
What kind of a book
even
is it?
though it be for good, holy, edifying.
I found it here in the library.
For it is written,
It was on a shelf
in
where
much
it should
speaking
never have
you
been.
will not escape
So
sin.
I hid it to read later.
And in another place,
It's the Necronomicon.
death and life are in the
Ghosts,
power of
demons,
the
and
tongue.
invocations of
For
powers beyond our
speaking and
world.
teaching belong to the master.
Only it's written in a
The
strange
disciples'
language that I
part
can't
be
really
silent
make
and
sense
listen.
of. All
And for
bara
that
this
reason,
and
if
bara
anything
that.
has to be asked of the superior,
Who knows
should
what
be
it means?
asked with all the
I tried to
humility
count
and
the
submission,
syllables, read the
inspired
words
by
backwards,
reverence.
but nothing.
But as for coarse
I'm not
jests
getting
and
anywhere with it.
idle words or words
Oh,
that move to laughter,
I'm not too sure what the
these we
prior or
condemn
the cicada
everywhere
would
with
say about a book
perpetual
like that.
ban.
Actually,
For
what
such
anyone would say.
conversation we do not
It
permit
sounds
a
quite
disciple to open
prohibited.
his mouth.
Ah, prejudice.
The rule of Saint
But you're right.
Benedict.
It is prohibited.
Readings on daily
For no good
manual
reason,
labor.
though.
Idleness
Has
is the
knowledge ever
enemy
done
of the
anybody
soul.
any harm?
Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor.
You're
and
right.
Again, at fixed
Knowledge
hours
should
in
never be
sacred reading.
prohibited.
To that end,
I'm
we
glad
think
you
that the
agree.
times for each may be prescribed
Just take a look
as
at the
follows.
book. Maybe
From
you'll be able to make
Easter
some
until
sense
the
of it.
calends of October.
I haven't grasped a single
When they
syllable.
come out from prime in the morning,
Just
let them
please
labor
don't
at
tell
whatever
anyone
is
about the book.
necessary until
If
about
the brothers
fourth
learn that I
hour.
took it from the
And from
library and
fourth
hid it,
hour
I'll be in a
until
lot
about
of trouble.
the sixth, let them apply
Our
themselves
brothers'
to read.
minds are closed to a thirst
After
for
the
knowledge.
sixth hour, having left the the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence.
I'll leave
or
you
if
be.
Anyone may perhaps
Don't worry,
want to read,
I won't follow
let
you
him
again.
read to himself in
Thank
such
you.
a way as not
And
to
please,
disturb
Gregor,
anyone else.
don't mention it to
Let
anyone.
Nonne be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until Vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft
Slow
of such
down,
a nature
brother.
as to keep them from idleness and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience.
Salve Domine.
This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not sin with my tongue. I have set a guard to my mouth. I was mute and was humble and kept silence even from good things. Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since this spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth.
You've got a strong constitution. Anyone else would have certainly died.
What happened?
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a young boy. He was lost and miserable. He had no future. He was tempted by his friends into doing some foolish things, but he wasn't truly bad, because when it came down to it, he ran away rather than keep doing foolish deeds. His former friends didn't take kindly to that, though, and wanted to punish him. So they sent a hunting dog to find him and rip his throat. The boy wasn't stupid, though, and he knew that the hound was coming. He poisoned some food, and when the hound showed up, he gave it to him. He didn't expect the beast to live, but it did. And all of a sudden the boy was sorry for what he tried to do. So he offered to make a bargain with the hound.
I think I understand you. But the beast would need to know what deal he's being offered.
You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way.
Aye, I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhoff. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery I've had plenty of time to think things over, but then you showed up and fucked it all up.
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. And what exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace and no one will try to kill me. If we work together, we can both get what we want.
You're right. But the people who sent me will find out if I don't kill you.
They won't if we're clever about it. No one has to die. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit, and footprints leading towards the river. No one will bother looking for my body there. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty, and I'll get as far away from here as I can.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
And where am I supposed to get my hands on blood in a monastery?
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it, all the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list, and when it's delivered the next day, take it before anyone notices it's even come.
What do I need the keys to the monastery for?
How else will we get out? This place is practically a prison.
Getting the keys won't be easy.
I know, but Brother Salarius is a reformed thief. I'll bet he still has a few lockpicks lying about. If you know how to use them, they'll be worth finding. Or there's the hard way. Steal the keys from the prior. He carries them with him at all times.
They both sound hard to me. But needs must. What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow, that sort of thing. You can escape in that habit, but I need to vanish as fast as I can.
All right, that's everything I need to know. I can get started.
Excellent. Come and see me once you have everything, and try to be as fast as you can. And Gregor, thank you.
That would sound more sincere if you hadn't just tried to kill me.
That's why I'm thanking you, for being so reasonable despite what I did. For what it's worth, I'm glad the poison didn't kill you. And we can both come through this alive if we work together.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony.
My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today it's your task to concoct 2 potions to aid digestion. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them. Credo in un Deum, Patrem omnipotentem, Creatorem caeli et terrae.
It's that touching, is it? Touching? More like infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have no respect for writing these days.
But they'll learn. We were no different.
I'm telling you, someone's been creeping around in the corridor at night. What am I saying? Creeping? He was stomping about like a bear.
That must have been Brother Cicada. He can't sleep and prays long into the night.
What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
Brother? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
I definitely was there. I did come a little late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
Brother? I wasn't born yesterday. This is your first warning. Don't do it again.
Hey, who's that?
Pay more attention, brother. Watch your step, brother.
No. Peter has a strong constitution. He'll still be officer for many years to come.
I wish all good health upon him, but I want change.
Brother? Stealing is a sin. You should know that.
I've had enough of this.
You dare resist punishment? Let me remind you,
I apologise.
Now, show me what you have on you.
Pay more attention, brother.
Salve, be well.
Why such haste?
Cease this disgraceful behavior. What have you done now?
Watch your step, brother.
Hey, who's there?
In a rush to pray?
This is not a good time.
What was that?
Hey, you've no business here. Clear off, or you'll be sorry.
What do you want, brother? You shouldn't be here.
God
Peace be with you, brother.
Pay more attention, brother. Slow down, brother.
What are you doing there? Who's there? Hey, what are you up to?
Novices have no business here.
hereafter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples.
Brother?
Demonstrating the divine precepts by
Brother Cyril mentioned that you didn't submit your parchments in the scriptorium.
the abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called.
I had other affairs that...
Brother, I'm sorry. This is your first warning. Don't do it again. Where were you during Mass?
You're right, brother.
This is your second warning. Stealing is a sin.
And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but since he has
I've had enough of it.
authority, let
You
him
dare-
pluck out those faults by the roots as soon
Yeah.
as they begin.
You
to
failed.
What's with you? It is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again,
Don't move a finger!
Surrender! You've committed a violation. You're under arrest. Bring it on.
Hey, who's that? I'll find you. Hey, you can't hide from me.
Knees, have you? I'll chop you.
Jesus Christ! Hey!
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Thanks for... Let's go then.
Good. Follow me closely. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs.
Yet again, I've had enough of it. Servus.
I've read one of the manuscripts copied by one of the novices. I think I'm going to cry.
It's that touching, is it? Touching? More like infuriating. A horrible, abominable waste of parchment. Young people have...
They'll learn.
This is the way to the
We were
dormitory,
no different.
where we all find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me?
Pay more
To
attention.
appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day Takes a bit of getting used to. This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation.
They say he won't make it to the autumn.
Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery.
Watch your step,
and his
brother.
spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware.
Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work.
As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren, and above us monks are the prior and the cicatas, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict.
The rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitous. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too will learn how. And that's all.
Thank you. That perhaps I know.
No.
In a wish to pray?
Pay more attention, brother.
God be with you. Don't move a muscle.
He was stomping about like a bear.
That must have been Brother Cicada.
And now they hurt again. But worse than last time. I tell you, something is gonna happen out there.
You might be wrong.
In a
Pay
rush
more
to
attention,
pray.
brother.
Why such haste?
This looks like the dregs after a night's drinking. Who could be coming here?
Things will get worse. I can feel it in my joints.
Watch your step, brother.
Slow down, brother. Brother, is this a tavern? Are we at a dogfight? Violence doesn't...
Very well, bro.
You might be wrong. And besides, God will be our protector.
Hey, who's there?
What's the meaning of this? Have you been possessed by an evil spirit?